Broken Kanu's way, and Dahui's right out of the centre. It's Kanu, what's he going to do? Oh! Can you believe it?
Hello, Arsenal fans, and welcome back to a new episode of Can You Believe It, an Arsenal podcast. And what is this? 2 Arsenal wins in a row?
2 on the bounce.
I know, the apocalypse is going to finally happen, isn't it? Because we are actually winning games. We're actually keeping clean sheets. I know the game wasn't that entertaining, but we will get into that more. But I'm joined by Wayne again. Welcome back, Wayne.
Thanks once again. It's good to have another win to talk about. It's probably all fun and games until we get embarrassed by Wimbledon or something.
Yeah, let's not think about that, because if we do get embarrassed by Wimbledon, I'm sure Arsenal Twitter will react in a appropriate way.
Typical fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think there's a lot to talk about in this game, because I think the performance itself wasn't incredible. I don't think it was like a stellar attacking performance, and I think when we're looking at these Arsenal games, we're always looking at, for an attacking performance, a really good one. But I think with how we were in the game, I think it's actually more defensive, and we actually stuck with it quite well, and we prevented Burnley from actually breaking us down. So it was quite good. But I guess let's start with the lineup. Did you have any surprises with the lineup? I thought it was you suggested 4-3-3 earlier in the week, and once again you're right, so I'm taking another humble L on this podcast. So but yeah, it was a 4-3-3. So what did you think of the lineup?
I won't take a victory on that one. It was something that was, I guess, just a discussion point. It's not something I personally would have played, but I was a little bit surprised that he done it, to be honest. I know it worked well at the end of the Norwich game, but I wasn't entirely sure that he would go for it from the start of a game, particularly at a tough place like Burnley. And we spoke on the preview podcast just about how we tend to struggle a lot against Burnley, particularly away from home for some reason. Now, I know we've probably won more of the games than we haven't, but they're always tough, and it's always by sort of one goal, 2-1, something like that. And yesterday was no different. I thought the first half we controlled pretty well, and a lot of that was due to the fact that we set up in this 4-3-3. It allowed Partey all of, I guess, the time in the world. We outmanned them in midfield, which I thought was really important. Obviously, they play a flat kind of 4-4-2. We dominated in the midfield with the three, and no one was picking up Partey, which allowed him to progress play in that first half really, really easily. And I thought his first half performance was really, really good. I know we spoke about it potentially limiting him a little bit, playing as that lone six, but it definitely didn't look that way yesterday. Whether or not we could get away with it in either bigger games or against high quality opposition who are prepared to try and play football a little bit more, because we all know Burnley are the anti-football of everyone in England. So, no, I liked it. It was when and it's something that I can't say I expected from Arteta, especially given the fact that he doesn't tend, when things are, I guess, going well, he tends to not make changes, and he doesn't go for the brave decisions at that time. At those times, he's a little bit more reactive. But right now, where we're in a situation we need results, yes, we want to play well, but we need to go on a run of results whilst getting that rhythm back. I think to change away from home at Burnley to something that we've not seen work very well, reflecting back on that Villarreal game last season, I think was good, and I think it worked well, particularly in the first half. What did you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. It was something I didn't really expect him to start with. I thought it would be something he would go to if we were struggling in the game, but he actually did the opposite in this game. He started with 4-3-3 and then went back to the 4-2-3-1 later on. So when Lokonga and Maitland-Niles came on, they went back further into midfield, and it became more of a 4-2-3-1 shape. So I actually thought it was quite smart from Arteta. I thought he tried to outnumber Burnley's midfield, and we done that. We created overloads in the centre, and that's something we haven't really done. And it was exciting as well, even though I thought Smith Rowe was more on the wing compared to Saka. I thought Saka was more of the midfielder in this. I know he did go a venture off, but the way we set up in terms of the 3-2-5 shape that we usually do, it's usually Saka in one of the half spaces, so he was a bit more central compared to like Smith Rowe, because Smith Rowe always likes to be near someone else and always likes to have that kind of relationship between them. So I thought it was quite interesting the way we did set up, sort of thing, and it was nice as well just to have a bit more of a consistency in lineup. I don't think we've done that a lot last season, or pretty much since Arteta's came in. There's always been something that's gone wrong, and I know Partey came in, and I know Smith Rowe came in, and they were changes that we sort of needed to happen. But I thought Arsenal were smart in this game, and it was nice to see that we just thought, we'll bring on all the attackers and let's just see how it goes and try and control the game and get a few goals, which I liked. I know the game didn't actually pan out that way, but I like the adventurousness from Arteta, and I don't think he's done that a lot. He's definitely much more about caution rather than loading up the attack a lot of the time. I think that's why I hate the 3 at the back system a lot, because you just play one extra defender, and I think when you play one extra defender, you're limiting yourself in an attacking point of view. At least this way, I mean, your best players are your attackers, and you've got Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, Pepe, and Aubameyang all on the pitch at the same time, and it's exciting. You were right, obviously, in terms of the Villarreal game. That was a really poor game, but this one was much better, and we done well in the first half. I think we limited Burnley, and then we attacked decently ourselves. It wasn't the most coherent performance going forward, but okay. So there was one moment of magic in the first half, and it was from Martin Odegaard. And now I'm going to brag about this player because when Arsenal Twitter were up in arms about Odegaard coming back and on permanently, I was one of the people who was quite excited about him coming back, because I really appreciated him in his loan spell with us originally, and I think he's just such a lovely player to watch, but he also looks like a leader on the pitch, and I really appreciated his performance yesterday. I know he dropped off a bit in the second half, but the moment of magic free kick was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a quality free kick, and it's something that I was surprised that he held rank in terms of taking the free kick at the particular time. Aubameyang was standing over it. I think Pepe was over it as well. And then you also imagine, I guess, if Xhaka comes back into the fold, which I guess we'll talk about the North London derby at some point later on during the week, Xhaka would probably be on potentially free kicks as well. So I was surprised that Odegaard took it, but it was a brilliant free kick, placed top corner, no goalkeepers saving that. Yeah. And I think the one disappointment from the game in general was that the build up to the free kick, we saw Saka kind of run directly at the Burnley defence. And if they didn't make the tackle there and then, he was going to slip a ball into Pepe, which in sort of that channel on his left foot, I'm probably going to back him to score 9 times out of 10, because that's one of the things that he's really good at in terms of finesse finishing towards the far post. I'm going to trust him to score that. So it was, I felt like a goal was coming from that move anyway.
Yeah.
We just didn't really do it enough. Like Saka and Smith Rowe in particular, I don't know whether they were kind of holding back a little bit, whether it was instructions, but it seemed as though they weren't willing to take a player on. They were just wanting to keep hold of possession. And I think we could have got a little bit more luck or a little bit more joy if we kind of drove at them a little bit. On the attacking side of things, I know we only scored the free kick, but once again, we get into really good positions and kind of wasteful in the final third. And I think, for me, the one thing that I've grown to accept, I guess, is that that's going to happen this season. These players are limited in what they're good at and what they're not so good at. So when it comes to Pepe, for example, asking him to play make, like expecting him to be able to. Fair enough, it's quite a simple ball, and the weighting of it towards Aubameyang, he should get right, but he's limited, and he's not going to get that right every single time. Saka on 2 occasions was almost through on goal, and his first touch let him down. I'm not expecting Saka to become a consistent goal threat. Similar to Smith Rowe, I think he had a chance in the second half that he blazed over. I'm not expecting Emile Smith Rowe to score those chances every single time. So where I understand the idea that Arsenal fans say, well, on another day we would have scored 3 or 4 if these situations were perfect. These situations with these players, unfortunately, are just never going to be perfect because they're limited in one form or another, or in the youngsters' cases, they're developing still. So same with Aubameyang. He had a lot of opportunities to either link up play, hold up play, or just get involved and get a feel for the other players behind him. But on the ball, he's just severely limited. And that's something that I now expect. If Lacazette was to come in, I'd expect him to link up more, but I wouldn't expect him to be in a position to score a tap-in if we play a ball across the box. Just he's physically limited in that way.